October 2025. This past month may be the best month for gacha players in the past few years. We had the release of Chaos Zero Nightmare, the best gacha release in the past 2 decades, only behind the Horse Girl game and another one. We also had Duel Night Abyss, a game that changed everything, including the removal of its gacha features at the player's request. Something never once saw in gacha. Two excellent games released in short time. You can only imagine how someone can have so much time to appreciate so much, when we already have so much to play. But we gacha players have one thing coursing through our veins, and that's the sweet, sweet grind. We do not tremble before another predatory game that would consume even more that little we call life, because us gacha players know that grind is not just another part of our daily lives, grind is our daily lives. A gacha player without his waifu is not a gacha player at all. So in this video I'm gonna make a bad attempt to convince you fellow gacha player to also include in your list of daily games the absolute gem that is Nikke, Goddess of Victory. For you that never played Nikke or conducted a more deeper research about the matter at hand, you probably saw an ad, meme or something commenting about the game and are thinking right now, Nikke, is that not the butt game? And yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, Nikke is famously known for their big assets in the screen. Not by coincidence, must I say. But now that we are in the 3rd year anniversary, and since those 3 years since its release I have been playing for more than 2.5 years now, I, as a fellow gacha degenerate lured for this game by the excessive amount of cake, come in this video to try and convince you to give a chance for the best gacha game ever released, and one of the greatest games ever made. First of all, what is Nikke? Nikke, Goddess of Victory is a rail shooter gacha, made by Shifty Up, released in the end of 2022. That after making an absolute magnum opus, years later cooked again making Stellar Blade. So yeah, if you play Stellar Blade and find the fun service in that game a bit much, I gladly tell you that was exactly the plan. Shifty Up don't bake cupcakes, they only work towards the biggest and most appealing cakes you ever saw. Now that I talked about the main selling point of the game, I can finally talk about the other 90% of the game, undoubtedly the best parts, that being almost everything else. But since I don't want to make a 3-hour dissertation explain to you why video game good, I just gonna give you my honest opinion on why I think if you don't play Nikke yet or stop playing for whatever reason, now more than ever is the best time to start. So why now of all times you dear law-abiding citizen should download and play Nikke? To answer that is easy. We are, at the time I'm making this video, in the 3rd anniversary, and you see, anniversaries in Nikke are different than your usual gacha. More than an excuse to sell you character and skins and give you a 2D cake, Nikke anniversaries are special. They usually are the pinnacle of gacha experience. Not only they give away an enormous amount of rewards, that rewards including free characters and hundreds of free pulls, they also give you for completely free new traumas and depression. There's a reason why one of the most common phrases in Nikke community is come for the plot, stay for the plot. And for more that I wanted to explain to you why this game's story is second to none, I can't. Because first, I want you to experience firsthand how it is to discover that every character that you like died in a horrific way before turning into a Nikke or was condemned to a lifetime of becoming an android girl for crimes against humanity. And second, because just recently in the anniversary patch, Shifty Up added a new mode into the campaign, so people can freely enjoy the story without having to worry about grinding. Just hop into the game and enjoy 42 chapters of the best story that you ever gonna see. To be completely honest, I don't have much to say in this part, except one thing. Nikke gameplay is absolutely peak. You may not like rail shooters, friend, but I guarantee you, you're gonna like everything else. The animations, the enemies, the combat dynamic, the sound design, and ooh, the music. Oh my god, the music. We got everything. You like jazz? Here. You like heavy metal music? We have that too. We got doom music. Final Fantasy music. Egyptian music. And every kind of music you like. This is not a choice. Nikke is the best example of why limitations is the best thing that can happen with a creator. Limitations blooms creativity. Since a rail shooter gameplay is very linear, Shifty Up decided to push everything to its absolute limits, breaking those limits and delivering us not with a game, but with a lifetime experience. You don't play Nikke, you feel Nikke. I told you before that I was not gonna spoil the story, so in this segment I gonna give you the general plot. Basically, 100 years ago, raptors appeared on Earth. What is a rapture? These giant robots. They are like a life form of their own, with instincts, drives, and the capability of evolution and basic communication between themselves. What raptors do when they descended on Earth almost wiped out humanity. Why? No one knows. What we know is that what left of humanity lives now on the subterranean giant city named the Ark, controlled by the central government and the Big Three, namely Elysian, Tetra and Missilis, the main creators of Nikke.
We must defeat them as humans.
There is no doubt that Missilis has the most advanced tech in the entire Ark.
We Tetra Nikkes are always up for a good show, even on the battlefield.
What is a Nikke? Basically a super android woman. They are not AI or a new species. Nikkes are fundamentally human. Far more that their entire body is mechanical, their brain is still are those of a human being. And the reason why they become a Nikke in the first place? Well, every single Nikke has the reason why. Some by choice, others not so much. Becoming a Nikke has two great disadvantages. One, they are a tool, not a person, and furthermore that they receive basic freedoms from time to time. Life of more than half of these Nikkes consists of getting sent to battles over and over again until you die or are scrapped for not being useful anymore. Those ones that has enough personality to not become a basic model has the advantage of getting their own bodies like they see fit. That's why Nikkes are so flashy and exaggerated, because their minds mold their body that way. And if you think about it, makes total sense. If people had the opportunity to mold their bodies the way they wanted, I bet that 95% of the guys out there would be looking exactly like this. And this becomes more apparent when you see the normal humans in the game. They are normal people, everyday people you see walking around. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons why Nikkes look like this. The second great disadvantage is their mental. You see, the human mind is very problematic to deal with. Our minds are very picky and don't like change that much. If you grow accustomed to something and that thing changes suddenly, your brain starts going crazy. To give an example, normally when someone loses a limb or suffers a sudden physical change, they need therapy to help their minds accustom to their new state. If that doesn't happen, the chance of a mental problem developing is pretty big. Now imagine that your entire body becomes something completely different. You may look like a human outside, but inside is nothing like before. Now, your brain, which has spent his entire life controlling things like cardiac and respiratory functions, now can't do that anymore, resulting in him literally breaking. To prevent things like personality changes, brain death, and insanity, every Nikke suffers a memory wipe. The great majority of Nikkes don't remember their past lives. Some exceptions exist, but almost all of them just have some basic memories. It makes their brain get used to the new body. Nikke is a cruel world. Humanity have already lost. The hope of reclaiming the surface one day have long become a mere myth, and the great majority of characters you interact are not living their best lives. It's not a depressing mess of a world the majority of times, and even full of happiness and good moments, but more often than not, you're gonna get yourself thinking that things could get better. The gacha in Nikke is one of the best out there. It's easy to get pulls and currency, and the rates are generous, but the best part in my opinion are the dupe system, the pity system, and the permanent banner. First of all, the dupe system. In Nikke, there are no constellations, eidolons, resonance chains, or whatever things they call. Sure, you can get copies of characters, but the only thing those copies do is buff their stats slightly and unlock some cosmetic stuff. When you get a character in Nikke, you fully get the character. All the skills, passives and abilities are there fully for you to use at level 1. Upgrading them just increases stats and nothing more. Second, to talk about the pity system. When you pull on a banner, you get these tickets. Every pull is equal to 1 ticket, golden for the limited banners and silver for the permanent banner. They do not expire or have a cap. You can hold them forever in how many quantity you want. So how do you spend them? You can simply go to the in-game shop and buy the character that is on the banner. No need to get a prior copy or have even rolled on that character before. Simple and efficient. A character costs 200 tickets, and for more that appears to be much, it is not. Nikke is extremely generous. You easily get pulls and gems by doing events and just playing the game. And with the rates in this gacha, you easily can get every character that you want. Now to talk about the third best part of the gacha, the permanent banner. The permanent banner on Nikke is truly built different. Instead of being something that you just remember exists when you lose your 50-50, this banner is made to help players. First of all, almost every single character in this game is here. The only one that is not here are limited characters linked to events, but excluding that, every strong character in the game is here. And since there are too many, Shifty Up implemented a tool that you can choose who can and cannot appear. This is extremely good. Together with the monumental amount of standard pulls you get, you can stack your account very quick. So why Nikke? Why should you choose this Korean gacha game instead of other gachas? Well, the major point that I decided to talk about last is the fact that Nikke have above almost every other game in its category, its amazing community. It's kinda weird how the booty game have one of the best and most well behaved communities out there. Be you as someone who make content about the game or just a regular player that engages in sites like Reddit, Nikke discussions are always safe. I never saw this community being tribalistic or hateful. For a game that's highly unrespected outside its sphere of influence, it's honestly amazing how the Nikke sphere itself chooses peace. something extremely rare nowadays, especially in the internet. And that's mainly the result of Shifty Up and Nikke developers, in my opinion the best game company in the market today. They always being respectful and mindful to its players, being also extremely generous, giving away rewards and listening to feedback and criticism. Nikke community never needed to lash out or be disrespectful, because we know if we have a problem with the game, we can just make our concerns clear and people in the community and the Nikke team will hear. They may not always agree, but you're not gonna get harassed or ignored, like happened 90% of the times in other gacha games, unfortunately. But this is it. This was the video, folks. I told you what I wanted to say, and whatever you may be, I hope you have a good day, my friend. See ya.